This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No. Y'all,
This
just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
How do we heal this great divide? Do we care enough to try? Liar, liar, the world's on fire. What we gonna do when it all burns down?
Wow. Welcome to DBL. That was friend of the show, Dolly Parton. Sam Shocker down there. Are you becoming a regular on the show?
I want to.
You're more than welcome. You're more
She
than
has
welcome.
to do the hazing.
She's auditioning.
We'll see how this week goes.
Okay.
If the chemistry works.
Let me know. Okay.
All right, let's jump right in. That was Dolly Parton, of course, debuting her new song, World on Fire, from her upcoming rock album. Maybe I shouldn't throw those horns up.
I know.
I don't know what that means anymore. At the Academy Country Music Awards last night, Garth Brooks co-hosted the event with Dolly and introduced her as the GOAT. And if you don't know, that means greatest of all time. Dolly then appeared on stage pulling an actual goat.
Jeray like
That's a
this.
super cute goat.
It is.
Oh, goats are the best. Goats freak me out, but that one I would think I'd be okay
I like his
with.
little tail.
Wow, a lot to say about the goat. All right, Dolly also sang an a cappella hymn as a tribute to Loretta Lynn and Naomi Judd, who passed away last year. On the red carpet, Nicole Kidman wore this sparkly
Love that.
tweed suit
Sam, you could
alongside
totally
her
rock
husband,
that.
Keith Urban.
I like her hair.
Looking fire.
Yeah.
And what's with that hair, though, with Keith Urban? Get a new haircut.
I know.
dude.
I can't take it
know.
anymore.
I'm with you.
And Miranda Lambert looks stunning in this low-cut blue gown. I'm not saying anything. Ed Sheeran performed with Luke Combs and said he's considering crossing over into country music. He's very talented, could do anything. And Yellowstone actress Lainey Wilson won big, picking up 4 awards, including Female Artist of the Year. Chris Stapleton was another big winner of the night, grabbing the Entertainer of the Year trophy. What do we think? What do we think about, besides the hair?
I thought Dolly, let's go back to Dolly
Yeah,
Parton.
let's do it.
That song, if you listen to the lyrics, it is all of us right now in this country in America and how America is seen, in my opinion, as this great, incredible leader of the free world, but a lot of people feel like it's burning, which then will in turn burn the entire world down. That's what I
was
got. 'Cause I
dark.
listened to the entire song,
Yeah.
and it is dark.
It's dark for Dolly, especially. I do want to say I read up on this. She was inspired by actually being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last year, and she wanted to make a rock album. And she's actually going to do some rock covers with people like Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney. She's making a whole album, so she's leaning in, and I like it for her. She's also been a part of this world. The Moderna vaccine, remember, was funded partially by Dolly Parton. So she really has a hand in this world that's on fire, and I like to rock it out.
You know, I think of artists in terms of like legacy, because you think back on artists that aren't with us anymore, like Whitney Houston, for instance, and she has a song, Don't Cry for Me, and it's about when she dies, don't cry. And if you watch her Netflix, the documentary that's out right now,
Did you?
it's prolific in a lot of ways, everything about her story. And I feel the same way about Dolly Parton. She's made very concerted efforts to contribute to all of these different causes and ways of being a better country and better people. And this is a message that we should all be really listening to as a part of her body and legacy of work.
It's a bit of a protest song. It's
Oh,
like
a
a
little
Bob
bit.
Dylan. Like it's
Wow,
amazing.
I'm glad you guys had nice things to say. I thought it kind of sounded made up. Like when you're telling a kid to sleep, you're like, liar, liar, pants on fire, everybody go to sleep now. You know what I mean?
Adam Sandler.
It kind of sounded like, I'm like, she just made that up.
Well, she did make it up. It's called songwriting.
Well, I guess I make up some songs when I put my kids to bed.
I feel like she and Billy Joel, We Didn't Start the Fire, The World's on Fire should go together.
Can we hear it one more time and tell me I'm kind of right? Let's hear it one more time. Could we?
How do we heal this great divide? Do we care enough to try? Liar, liar, the world's on fire. What we gonna do when it all burns down?
Right?
Fair enough. Fair
Did I
enough.
just ruin the song
But it
for
is
you?
a protest song.
All right.
It's a strong song,
Yes,
Dolly.
it is.
If we weren't live, we would cut that out. Like, that's what you'd say. All right, so is Taylor Swift dipping her toes back into the dating game? Taylor has been rumored to be dating Maddie Healy from the British band. I don't like him already. Just call him Matt.
No, he
Gotta
likes
go by
Maddie. He likes Maddie.
All right, Maddie from the 1975s. He was at all 3 of her Nashville shows and even performed on stage. Maybe it's because he was the opener. That's why he was at all 3 shows. Don't want to ruin the story. But here's the smoking gun. A fan's father, otherwise known as a creep, snapped a shot of them holding hands while out for dinner in New York City with their mutual friend Jack Antonoff.
And producer.
And producer. So what do we think? Is there a love story here, or did someone just take a random creepy photo?
Okay, wait a minute. I'm going to defend this father. This man is going to get father of the
You're
year.
right. You're right.
You're right.
He knows how much his child loves Taylor Swift, and he had to be like, oh, if I just say I saw Taylor Swift, she is going to lose her mind. Let me just click. And that's what he did.
You're right.
mean, do you know how much money that photo is worth? $250,000. That's what people are estimating. Yes.
And know that they did that on purpose. They were very public on purpose. We haven't seen them holding hands ever, and all of a sudden, all of this is building. The next day, they're very controlled and choreographed with what Taylor always does. So the holding hands was a message that, yeah, we're getting together. By the way, she also mouthed at a concert, wherever you are, you know who you are, I love you. Guess what Maddie Healy did at a concert? Wherever you are, you know who you are, I love you.
And I think Jeff has now a new gig on the weekends, so you can make $250,000.
Listen, I was calling him creepy. I'll be Creep Show Jeff if I get $250,000. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm snapping that
He broke the story. Yeah, that's great.
Yes.
Wow. Listen.
Just trying to be a good dad, and look what happened.
Yeah.
See?
And I got it covered, too. I'm just trying to be a good dad.
Yeah.
Now, where's my check? All right. So we're getting a first look at the explosive Vanderpump Rules. Sam, I know you watched it yesterday.
God, you
Me
guys.
too. Season 10 reunion. Tom Sandoval is in the hot seat, of course, over his cheating scandal with fellow castmate Raquel. Let's take a look.
Never ends.
I can't think of 2 worse people. I can't. I don't see anything good coming for either of those rats.
A reunion that may be more explosive
Don't even look at me. You don't deserve to look at this.
and dramatic.
James and Lala can't talk because they until I wasn't your best friend.
Than anything we've seen in the show's 10-year history.
I love it. Andy Cohen also asked Tom point blank if he was in love with Raquel, but you're going to have to wait till May 24th to find out. It's going to be a 3-part reunion. So the finale's next week, then the 3-part reunion.
Jeff and I were texting last night because we both watch Vanderpump Rules on Thursday nights, not Wednesday nights. And so last night was our big night. What did you think about last night?
Listen, if
was
you're
that the
not
reunion
watching
or
the
no?
show,
Oh,
it's
I
like
see.
the steps leading up because we know that he cheated.
Okay.
But at this point, like Raquel is telling his girlfriend that he cheated on of 9 years, like it's gonna be all right. Kind of getting like, how often do you guys have sex?
Yeah.
Real personal questions.
And that's
when
her
she's
best friend.
And she's already having sex with him.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then what about her going up to Katie Maloney, who just
Who's Katie
recently
Maloney?
got divorced,
Okay.
who Raquel
She made out with
her newly not
Schwartz,
even
the other
divorced
Tom.
Schwartz Tom.
Katie Maloney made out
yes,
with
but
Tony
even
Schwartz?
worse though.
No. Raquel made out with Tom. Oh, yes.
Even worse, though, is she goes up to Katie Maloney in the back alley of SUR, which is like a coveted spot that we've seen through the history where bombshells are bombed out.
Yes, sure.
And she had to tell Katie that she doesn't think that Katie should be annoyed about the dog custody situation.
There's
Can
a
you
dog
imagine?
custody situation?
Well, and also Rachel, was made out with Schwartz,
Yes.
and everyone believes that it was a cover because she was secretly hooking up with Sandoval.
Yeah.
So she was hooking up with 2?
Both Toms,
Right.
best friends.
Toms?
Yeah.
Listen,
Tom?
you need to get on board. Erica, high five. Because
Yes.
you were
Yes,
not on board. Now
Erica.
Erica's on board. And just
Yesterday, I bit my tongue yesterday because I already knew. I knew y'all hadn't seen
'cause
it, and I
Thursday.
knew what the tea was, and I didn't say anything 'cause I didn't want to ruin it for y'all. I know y'all are enthusiasts.
So Katie Maloney, is she on the reunion or no?
Oh yeah, she's the one with the dark hair that you saw.
Oh, okay, I saw
always
her.
next to Ariana. The dark flip.
Okay, let me
flip.
pose it this way, Tori. So the finale is the 24th.
Yeah.
Okay, the reunion starts. It's a 3-week process. We might have parties.
Oh, we are going to be having parties.
We might have some Vanderpump parties.
yeah.
And if you don't watch, you can't come.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Vandy rules! Vandy rules!
So you better get on it this weekend.
Okay.
You got a plane ride, right? You got a long
I got a
plane ride?
long plane ride. Vandy rules.
Yeah,
No, Vanderpump rules.
Vanderpump rules with Katie Baloney and the dog custody. I got
But there's
it.
some characters from the past that we don't even see on this season.
There's a Lala, I know. There's a Lala.
But there's a part that you didn't even know. So James, who Raquel was engaged to, so Sandoval, who she's sleeping with and having the affair with, paid for half of the engagement and called it Rochella.
Yeah.
Or Raquella?
Raquella.
Rochella.
By the way, we got to go. DJ James Kennedy is in Denver tonight.
Who's that?
Yep, tonight.
Why is he not here?
Who is that?
I don't know. Coming up on DBL, our interview, not with James Kennedy, it's country music star Clint Black. He's telling us about the latest season of his talk show, and Lionel Richie responds to plastic surgery rumors. Erica will explain in what Erica's watching next.
My eyelash.
DBL, this show is amazing.
There's a lot going on down here. I would have been part of the Mile High Club.
Yeah.
So on point.
But I'm going to have a conversation about what's happening now.
Ripped out.
Okay, so this is the latest VPR. No, it was just hanging it. The latest VPR update. Sam might know that DJ James Kennedy is in Denver tonight.
Him calling them.
Thank you, buddy.
Jeff, what about James calling them poo-poo heads?
I thought it was funny the second time, but the first time I'm like, don't ruin it.
Yeah, he ruined the
I didn't want him to lighten it. I wanted to get dark.
Who's
James? Someone tell me who James is.
Oh,
So James was best friends with Lisa Vanderpump's son, Max.
Okay, I know
And that's
Max.
how he
not
was
anymore.
introduced
You
to
saw
the
that
group.
episode, right? Where he called them a horrific.
I think they're friends now, but yeah.
Ish.
But that's how that was his
Arm's
intro
length.
to the group, right?
Yeah, and then their moms knew each other somehow.
Yeah.
So
But this-
what is he a DJ for? He's a DJ?
Yeah, he's become
Okay.
a pretty good DJ.
He opened for Cascade.
and he's
How about
gonna,
when he goes, seeing my name next to the Cascade, and they go, it was all the way to the bottom.
and he's gonna be at Stagecoach.
Okay.
He'll
Yeah.
be playing at Stagecoach.
This is gonna blow him up a little bit.
Is Tom not also in a band?
Well,
He is in a band, but he had to give his tickets to charity because no one was really.
No
they
one's
were like
coming.
buying them ironically.
Oh,
Hate
watch.
passion for
Now
Vanderpump.
Taylor,
our friend
has
here.
seen James Kennedy perform and got a picture with him.
Way. So she's our production
Yeah, she's not
coordinator.
So
Taylor.
the sinister, one of the many sinister things that have happened is that without Raquel actually having been with James, she would have no immersion on the show. So it's a very was this the plan to begin with?
I think so.
I mean, it's only her second season, and she's managed to break off her engagement with the conduit who got her on the show and immersed herself into because she was a fan.
The way she's acting now, it makes me totally believe that. Yeah.
Puts herself into every single scene in the show, just like that dog scene. Was she just inserting herself into that
she
scene
went
just because she
outside
wants
while the
camera
couple-
time?
That's what I'm trying to explain to her.
You go
Imagine
outside?
being newly divorced from Brooks, right?
Welcome back. What comedian is going to become a college course? Lionel Richie responds to plastic surgery rumors, and Queen Charlotte has Twitter in tears. In this week's What Erica's Watching. First, there's a new college course that you might think is a joke. Students in Montreal are about to be able to sign up for a course on comedian Dave Chappelle. Now get this, the class will include watching his comedy specials, and the professor behind the course is also a rapper who taught courses on Kanye West and Kendrick Lamar. And he says that his class on Chappelle will be a part of the celebration of the 50th anniversary of hip hop, and tease that students might get a chance to meet the comic genius. Now that's a course I would enroll in. Next, R&B legend and Idol judge Lionel Richie is sharing his secret to looking good at the sexy age of 73, honey. Despite the pressures the stars face to look young, one thing Lionel won't do is plastic surgery. That's because what he's been doing has been working out just fine. And I do mean fine. He says he prefers his natural look and shared his secret to staying young is avoiding red meat, lots of water, sleep, and having sex. regularly, okay? Now, is that what Lionel meant by all night long?
All night long, all night, all night long.
And I know what it's like to be Queen Charlotte because I was her for a day. And now Bridgerton fans are getting a lot more about her story in the Netflix spinoff series. And if you haven't watched the series yet, fans online are leaking how the drama's ending is breaking them into tears. So don't forget to include a box of tissue and a glass of wine with your snacks if you haven't binged the series already. Share with me anything that catches your eye by using the hashtag DBL Erica Watch. We'll be right back.
We have seen the warnings. Too much screen time can lead to migraines. But is that true for every migraine sufferer? To get the facts, we went to Dr. Megan Donnelly, lead neurologist for Novant Health, Dr. Ahmad Estamalik, headache specialist for the Cleveland Clinic and the Mayo Clinic. The Mayo Clinic describes a migraine as a headache that is accompanied by severe throbbing pain or pulsing sensation in your head.
By definition, to be considered migraine, somebody has to have had at least 5 attacks in their life.
Those attacks can include nausea, vomiting, and extreme sensitivity to light and sound. But can too much screen time cause them?
Screen time alone is not going to cause a migraine in somebody who wasn't really supposed to have one anyway.
Dr. Donnelly says it can be a trigger for people who are sensitive to light and have experienced migraines in the past.
If there's somebody who already is predispositioned to having migraine, they run in the family, they've had them previously, screen time can play a role for some patients.
The time of day can also play a role in migraines that are triggered by screen time.
So if somebody is looking at the screen and it's during regular hours, they might do better. But if they're looking at the screen at all hours of the night, that can worsen the frequency of migraine as well.
Really minimize screen time, phone time, especially in the 1 to 2 hours before someone goes to sleep. I think that will make a tremendous difference.
Dr. Donnelly says other triggers like stress, weather, too much or too little sleep can also kick off a migraine. So getting a migraine from too much screen time really depends on the individual's triggers. With your Verify Fact Check, I'm Megan Bragg.
Howdy, y'all. Welcome back. For Clint Black, it all started with a harmonica and a dream at the age of 13, and since then, he's become a Grammy award-winning country music superstar. Earlier, we spoke with him about the new season of his show, Talking in Circles with Clint Black. Take a look. Please welcome to the show, Clint Black.
Yeah.
Hello.
Clint, great to have you here, buddy. Let's jump right in. Your show, Talking in Circles, is coming back for a new season. Congratulations. So what do you love about hosting a talk show?
Yeah, I've made so many great new friends, which is hard to do when you're a touring act like myself, and so that's the great byproduct of it. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, we have a live audience that charges us up, and we have a lot of laughs. And I can't believe I was really nervous when I got I pitched the idea to Circle and they bought it, and then I thought, uh-oh.
Now you have to do it.
Yeah. Now what am I going to do? But it's fun every time.
All right, you started Clint Black Cowboy Coffee Company during the pandemic, and I am so curious as to why coffee all of a sudden. Tell me.
Well, it's a job that gets me going. I love coffee, and I used to give it out. I have a friend in the coffee business, and I used to give it out at Christmas to friends and family. And when the lockdown happened, he'd been telling me, "You have the perfect name. You should be in the coffee business." Mm-hmm. And I just, I was always busy until 2020. I lost my day job. So I decided to just start it. It's just an online thing right now. I don't have a lot of ambitions towards taking it beyond that, but You never know.
Love that.
I do too. Okay, so here's another thing. You have that rare privilege of being able to make music and perform with your family, Lisa Hartman Black and Lily Pearl Black. Well, your wife, when she was here, told us that you just might be the biggest prankster she's ever met. So what's the best prank that you pulled off while on tour?
Yeah, well, I am a prankster around the house, and I'll hide in a closet for I don't know how long until my daughter opens the door.
Jeff does that to me, Clint. I can't.
I do.
Can't.
I love it. I feel you.
You know, I had my old fiddle player arrested, and they took him to jail, and he sat in jail until showtime. It took that to convince him that it was real. Boy, what I'm trying to remember.
I think that takes the cake. You're throwing your friend in jail.
I disappeared until showtime just to scare my tour manager, who knew I'm always on time. I'm doing what I say I'm going to do. I had 3 different meet and greets, a sponsor, contest winners, Make-A-Wish, and he knew I wouldn't miss that, so something had to be wrong. Well, we were sneaking me around, and I was doing all of that stuff. Right up until showtime, he was panicked, and suddenly I'm just standing, 20 feet away from him in the hall. And he couldn't believe it. Where have I been?
Clint, forget about the coffee. Make like a prank show.
Yes.
That'd be hilarious. I'd love that.
Get people going.
That'd be great. So speaking of Lisa, you guys have been together since you met backstage in 1991. So I'm in a 13-year relationship myself, or maybe 15. I don't even know. What's your secret to such a long-lasting marriage?
Well, to quote my good friend Kevin Nealon, who's on this season, I finally found Mrs. Right. Mrs. Always Right.
Boom. There you go.
It's about communication. You can fall in love and then say all the wrong stuff and it's over. But you have to be careful how you communicate. Roy Rogers gave me the best advice when he found out we were married. He said, don't ever go to bed angry.
Yes.
And there's wisdom in that. You really have to address things as you go, or else they become a big blob of negativity, and you can't dissect it.
Great advice.
Yeah, very
I can
good.
see why you're a good
Smart
talk show
guy.
host. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. We could talk to you for hours, but DBL Nation, we don't got the time. So check out the all-new season of Talking in Circles with Clint Black starting May 13th on Circle Network. And also go to clintblack.com for more info on upcoming shows and to get yourself some coffee. Of course. Yes, before we go, let's hear one of Clint's favorite songs. Here's your beautiful duet with Lisa, When I Said I Do. Thank you so much, Clint. We'll be right back.
That was
Thank
fun.
you, buddy.
Be faithful and true, devoted to you. That's what I had in mind when I said I do.
It's been a long week, so consider this your permission to take the night off from cooking. But imagine you order up something on your go-to delivery app and the food that arrives to your home is from someone else's home. According to a trending local conversation online this week, it happens. And drivers have even chimed in saying they often pick up food from an apartment or a home instead of a restaurant. So let's verify, is that legal? We checked the cottage food laws in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. That's the term for the permitted in-home production and sale of foods that aren't potentially hazardous, according to the Harvard Food Law and Policy Clinic. We can verify, no, in our area, you cannot sell cottage food on delivery app platforms. Across the DMV, it is perfectly legal to sell some foods made at home, straight from home, or at a farmer's market, so long as the items don't cross state lines. And there are rules about labeling, permits, cleanliness standards, and how to get the grub to customers. In Maryland, cottage foods can be produced without a permit and sold directly to customers online and via delivery. But sale on delivery app platforms isn't allowed, since a Maryland Department of Health spokesperson explains they're technically third-party middlemen. In D.C., a 2013 law allows permitted cottage food businesses to sell some food products direct to customers, including online. But when Verify asked if that allowed for Uber Eats, DoorDash, etc., a D.C. spokesperson said no, delivery apps are outside of their regulations. And in Virginia, items must be direct to consumer. Online sales and deliveries are outlawed in the Commonwealth. So an app delivery from one home kitchen to another is illegal.
Remember, the type of food you can legally sell homemade also matters and will change based on where you are. For example, you can sell homemade pasta in DC and Virginia, but not in Maryland. We have a list of specific permitted foods on our website. But across the board, anything that requires some temperature regulation, like a fresh cooked meal, is not allowed. So if you're buying a home-cooked dinner cooked in someone else's home, you might want to reconsider. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
There's a push in some communities to go electric, whether it's your car or stove. Some headlines claim local governments are banning gas-powered leaf blowers, and that's led to a spike in searches from people wondering if there's a national ban on buying or using gas-powered leaf blowers. So, let's verify. Our sources are a check of current federal laws, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the National Association of Landscape Professionals. The EPA limits the amount of emissions lawn equipment like leaf blowers can emit. We checked through federal laws and other restrictions and found that aside from the emissions rules, there is no national ban on gas-powered leaf blowers. So, where are the questions coming from? Some state and local governments are concerned about the environmental impact of gas blowers. Last January, Washington, D.C. banned their sale and use. Next year, California will ban their sale, although you can keep using old gas blowers in communities where they're allowed. Other places are considering similar rules, but there is no nationwide proposal. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back to DBL. If you're having your mom over soon, perhaps this weekend, there are some things you can do to your outdoor space that will give it new life and you don't have to break the bank. Here's how to safely enjoy life outside with Sunsetter. First, mow the lawn, of course. It's simple and makes a huge difference. It sure does. Next, add a good amount of textiles like rugs and pillows to keep things comfy and inviting. Consider adding a chalkboard to your backyard. It's fun for the kids and can be useful for adults doing yard work as well. I'm not sure how. With affordable custom features without the custom price, Sunsetter is America's #1 best-selling awning. Spend more time outside and get the best value. With Sunsetter, it's been an industry leader for 30 years. Call 800-513-6851 or visit sunsetter.com for guaranteed pricing on American-made awnings that are built to last. And before we go, we have to give a big birthday shout-out to the woman who writes my scripts every day that I butcher and cut in half. She works very hard. Karen Rosenick, happy birthday, Karen. Oh, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. That was beautiful.
That was lovely.
Karen, thank you so much. You work really hard and I butcher those scripts. Yeah, yes you do.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Birthday, Karen.
Happy birthday, Karen. And we got some time if you guys want to talk about something.
And a happy shout out to the mommies out there.
That's right. Happy Mother's Day,
Happy Mother's
Sam.
Day, Sammy.
Thank you.
And to all the fur baby mommies, we love you too.
Hey, and a big birthday shout out to Karen. Yeah.